So happy Groundhog Day to you on a day here in Houston that is right around 80 degrees. Meteorologist John Dawson has a first look at the forecast and the prediction for winter, JD.
Yeah, the most famous of the groundhogs, of course, is Punxsutawney Phil. And Punxsutawney Phil did, in fact, see his shadows. So as the folklore goes, we will expect another 6 weeks of winter. We will not have an early spring. That is the prediction. We'll have to see, of course, how that turns out. And I want to make sure you're back here with our late news, our 9 p.m. newscast, because I'm going to have a few more statistics on how Phil has done over the years. But for now, I'm going to tell you that the forecast I've got for you does not look like winter. It does, in fact, look a lot like spring. But we're not really done with our winter season overall anyway. We've got this high pressure that it's been keeping us a beautiful looking weekend, continuing to creep further over to the east. That's going to open us up for those southeast winds. And as always, that increases our humidity. That also brings in a little bit more warmth overall. We've got temperatures about 74 degrees in the downtown Houston area, and we've got those winds up over 10 miles an hour. And as I mentioned, the humidity continuing to rise, where we were in the 40s at the beginning of the weekend on our dew points. Now we're looking at about 60 on the dew points. Here's our other areas around town as far as the thermometers are concerned. 78 degrees in Tomball, College Station also at 78, Sugarland 76. So plenty of us out there in the mid to upper 70s as well. But I think you're definitely going to notice the big differences in the morning when we get to the next several mornings, where we were about 50 degrees this morning. We're going to jump up to the upper 50s for tomorrow, and then we're going to land in the 60s and really stay that way for the rest of the week. Our afternoons, of course, are also going to be a bit milder, but like I said, it's the mornings when you're going to pick up on this the sharpest. And as we take a look at that extended forecast, where we're looking another 6 to 10 days out, even past our normal 7-day forecast, you'll notice a little bit of a difference. Where we were looking much warmer for that 6 to 10 day period, we've now got a little bit more cooler air moving in across the nation. So we're certainly still on the warm side, but you can see where the trend is headed. Once we get a little bit further into February, we are expecting to kind of get back to some cooler situations, more February-like, I guess we would call it. And we do expect to keep a little bit more rain than maybe what our averages would be. So be prepared for, again, some rain to return to the forecast. For the most part, the rain in my forecast right now, though, is very isolated. We're not going to see a whole lot. We will just have to say it's not going to be a 0% chance once we get towards the end of the week. But notice the temperatures. There are those 80s returning to the forecast, and not just for a day or two, but for much of our 7-day forecast. We'll expect to be warm in the afternoons, and then those mornings, as I mentioned, very mild.